This is Ken Woods at the Indian Art Show at the Historical Society. I'm visiting with Carol Soatakee. I want to spell that last name. Soatikee.
What tribe are you?
I'm half Apache, I'm half Pima.
I see. You're full blood, one or the other, is that right?
Full blood, yeah.
Where are you from?
I'm from, well, I was born in Phoenix, Arizona, and I was raised in Lawton, Oklahoma.
You live in Lawton now?
No, I've since moved to Edmond, where I attended Central State College, and after that got my degree, went out and became a teacher.
I see. What do you teach?
I'm an art teacher.
Where?
Concho Indian School.
Oh, at the Lawton, near Lawton?
Now this is up at
Oh,
Concho,
the
north
Concho,
of
yeah.
north of El Reno.
You teach art there?
Yes.
How big a class do you have?
Well, right now I'm on loan. Now I'm teaching creative writing and art, and I have a substitute who's fulfilling my art teaching duties, and for that I'm in with the open class at Concho.
Do you feel you have some good, promising artists coming on in your school?
I'm sure of it. We had two of my students who exhibited along with me at Philbrook this year. I'm just positive they're just fantastic.
Yeah. Who are they?
Janice Totem, and I think she's a Kiowa Comanche, and she's 11. She was a 5th grader. And let me see, Mike Howell, and he's a Pawnee from Pawnee, Oklahoma.
Are they painting in the Indian style?
Yes.
Do you feel that that the greatest opportunity for a young Indian artist is to learn and develop the Indian style of art?
Well, that's kind of a heavy question. I think it depends on the individual student, and it depends on the individual teacher. It depends on a lot on her interests or his interests. And I'm saying that pronoun for the teacher part. The student too, of course.
What styles do you draw in, paint in?
Well, I do oil portraits, realistic. I also do landscape painting and watercolor. And, I even experiment in ceramics, clay sculpture, anything that suggests art that I'm interested in.
How long have you been involved in painting?
Well, let me see, for about 10 years, I think.
How long have you been selling as your painting? When did you sell your first one?
Oh, about 10 years ago.
Did you start in the Indian style of painting?
No, I didn't. I was trained in public schools and into the Central State College, so that I started out painting and drawing very realistically in watercolor, in oils.
When did you start the Indian style development?
Well, I was kind of a latent developer. I didn't start until about 2 years ago.
And have you won any prizes in Indian art shows?
No prizes, but I'm
None.
in there swinging.
Still working. What advice would you give to a young artist or a young art student?
Well, that nothing beats practice. If you have the interest and the desire to paint traditional Indian painting, there's just nothing that can take the place of practice.
Have you participated in any other of the Indian festivals or Indian cultures other than the art?
For example, what?
The dancing or the powwows and that sort of thing.
Well, right now I'm kind of heading along with Mrs. Julian Wharton in the Arts and Crafts Show at El Reno Powell right now. Before that, we did the Centennial celebration, and we handled the art exhibit for that. And before that, very little. Not as much as I should have, and I have a bad thing because I really was denying myself part of a heritage that I should not have. And had I to live it over again, I would have taken more active involvement in it.
That powwow will be held about the middle of July in El Reno, won't it?
Well, it's right now.
Is it?
Yes,
The
and there'll be
crafts
another
portion.
one
Oh, well, there.
for the Feather and Buckskin show from Jerome Bushyhead.
Yes.
That will be later.
Mhm.
But right now, this is the El Reno All Tribal, I've forgotten the name of it. Anyway, it has to do with all the tribes have been being invited
Mhm.
to show and sell and to take part in the dancing.
How long does this last?
This is the last day for
This,
it.
today's the last day.
Yes.
The do you have in your drawing, in your Indian art in particular, do you feel that that each painting has a message of some sort?
I think it does. I think it's probably more deeply involved than an average viewer would imagine.
We took your picture with one of your paintings. Why don't you tell us what it was and what its message was?
Well, let me see. Were you taking the one of the apocalypse, the female writers, or the other one?
I believe.
It was the gathering?
I believe it was.
Well,
Okay.
no, I'm drawing on information that I've received by way of grandparents. Now, this is not actual for me, although I've seen some of it occasionally. But I was thinking about how probably, a day like today, say 100 years ago, now what exactly would be happening? And would be about to gather and celebrate one event, maybe a good kill on a hunt, maybe some young person coming of age and about to begin the festivities for that. It could suggest a lot of things, but one of them, I think, would be about how they would, the transportation bit, about how that gradually I can have a feeling about how they would all arrive and by what means and what the terrain have to do with their transportation. And I wanted my painting to suggest that they lived in a rocky terrain. Now, what problems would they face? The people coming in on horseback, would they be riding singly, or would they be sharing rides? And most likely they would. I think it would be a happy time.
Thank you very much. It's been a very interesting interview. I certainly appreciate it a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.